From training his dog to respond only to commands given in, wait for it, French, bonjour chien, ça va? To writing a dissertation detailing how to recreate 3D printed objects by analyzing and authenticating the sounds made by the printer, to developing industry and higher education partnerships and industry-defining products, to grilling engineer interviewees with a puzzle game called 2048. Get it?
It's less about the game and more about their strategy.
AVESTA HOJJATI is defined by a lot of things, specifically his ingenuity, intelligence, and efficiency. 3 traits he not so coincidentally shares with the subject matter of this Level Up session. So put your hands together, or just pretend to because you're on mute, for master multitasker, automation expert, and guy who completes every mission and knows how to land the plane.
Can you please get out of the way?
DigiCert, head of R&D, AVESTA HOJJATI.
Hello and thanks for being here. From early on, automation has been an indispensable part of TLS SSL lifecycle management. There has been many solutions throughout the years. Despite being innovative, each solution has lacked one specific element. And those are usability. Today, we are going to address those problems. The way behind automation could be divided in 4 different buckets. Each bucket by itself carries a heavily reason behind why automation matters. If you look at it from top to bottom, you can see that efficiency, security, crypto agility, and compliance are 4 important buckets when it comes to automation. Having certificates is important, but being able to install properly, renew, revoke, and reissue those certificates is an environment where efficiency matters, where compliance plays a pretty big role, plays an expensive and important approach. Recent research conducted by a third-party agency depicts the blockers for implementing automation. All of this blockers that you're seeing basically are preventing from implementation to be pushed into an environment. As seen here, complexities such as a distributed network, lack of well-crafted solutions, and fear of job replacements are coming among the highest reasons for staying away from automation. Today, we are going to look at some of these problems, but specifically talk about the solutions that we have available at DigiCert today, and the solutions that we are working that are able to support these preventions and allowing automation to be an easy solution for our customers to utilize. At DigiCert, we are committed towards removing these roadblockers. As we have said before, and specifically this year in 2021, every certificate will come with automation. In order to understand where we are headed, first we should take a look at where we are coming from. Our automation journey actually started back in 2017. At Search Central by itself had APIs. Search Central was utilizing APIs and it was highly designed based on APIs. But also at Symantec, we introduced CWS, Complete Website Security. This was mostly fitted for enterprises. We also had CLI. This was more towards SMB and retail customers where they just wanted to go ahead and install certificates. Despite the solutions being out there and solving some specific problems, as I mentioned, they were preventing for highly distributed and high utilization, and that was due to usability. Moving forward in 2018, where DigiCert acquired Symantec, we saw a transition. We saw that Search Central started getting introduced to some tools that we had available at Symantec. We also saw that APIs were expanded. Moving on, in 2019, we saw the release of Managed ACME and ACME URL. This was our first step towards the new protocol for that time and now becoming a standard protocol of automated certificate management environments. We were able to achieve this where we are able to actually utilize ACME for OV and EV certificates. More on this solution later. 2021 marked a big year for us. We have heavily invested in rehauling some of our existing solutions. We will go through this in more details later. But most importantly, we are introducing DigiCert Automation Manager. Let's take a different view of some minor and major releases from 2020 to present day. If you're familiar with our automation suite, you can see that in 2020, started from the first month, we started introducing the automation tools. This was mostly supporting for load balancers, which are appliances that we are able to automate from Search Central. Moving on, we saw automation tools general availability. We made this available to more customers. As a Search Central customer, you were able to actually deploy this solution and automate your load balancers. Moving forward, we have seen a number of different enhancements to support for ACME, such as ACME wildcards and SAN. We also have seen support for email notification and local language support. Moving on to 2021, we started supporting Amazon Web Services. Amazon load balancers such as ELB and NLB are now supported if you're utilizing load balancers. But we also introduced Automation Wizard. More on that later. And finally, April of this year, we are releasing our Automation Manager, which is an on-premises solution that is able to move all the automation workflows behind your firewalls and create a more scalable, modernized solution for automation. Let's take a look at the current solutions available on Search Central. Let's start clockwise. Starting from top left, we have Acme URL. This is best suited when you have a certbot or Acme-capable client already installed in your environment. All you have to do as a user is to go to Search Central, create your Acme URL, have a pre-validated organizations, grab that Acme URL, and place it in your client. Now you do have access to OV and EV certificates available on that specific client. Moving on, we have managed Acme. We have heard from many customers that they want to be able to actually manage their Acme clients from Search Central. They would rather go ahead and use a UI. They would rather have a remote management for bulk reissuance or installation of their certificates. This is where DigiCert Managed Acme shines. You're able to go ahead to Search Central, download the Managed Acme client, install it on multiple different web servers with different supports from IIS, Nginx to Apache, and be able to manage the lifecycle of those certificates all from your Search Central account. Moving on to the APIs, this is an extremely powerful tool. If you're an enterprise, if you have a specific workflows and you want to do integrations with different applications, third-party applications, or you want to make your own customized clients, our APIs are extremely powerful and they have been utilized for quite some time. They are very steady, solid. We always come up with new versions and functionality based on our APIs. After all, Search Central has been built on APIs. Finally, appliances. These appliances are quite important, from your F5 to Amazon AWS, as well as Netscaler and A10. This appliances and load balancers are covering a variety of applications. Most of the time, you have a number of web servers being supported behind this load balancers, and we are seeing a trend that customers are moving towards these load balancers. Let's take a different approach. This is a detailed view in regards to our automation solutions. Starting from left column, we have categorized each available and soon to be available solution. From top, you have your cloud discovery and sensor discovery. This is in regards to getting a view of your certificates either being public-facing or private-facing inside your infrastructure and in your DMZ. We also have second column, which describes the specific need that each solution can satisfy. Third column will go through a high-level capability of each automation tool. And finally, we have the fourth column, which has the deployment model attached to each automation tools. Let's quickly go through some of these and describe their own capabilities. Cloud discovery, this is specifically for a small number of certificates. If you have a number of certs, number of domains, and you want to see what type of certificates are installed on those domains, if you want to see the cryptographic algorithms being supported, cloud discovery is bestly suited for you. As mentioned here, this discovers public-facing certificates, and it is hosted at DigiCert, Search Central, and on the cloud. If you want to go ahead and actually look at the certificates that are within your infrastructure, behind your firewalls, there's no public accessibility, this is an opportunity for you to go ahead and deploy our sensor-based discovery. You're able to acquire this sensor from Search Central, place it inside your infrastructure, and now you're able to pick up your private certificates. This solution is quite interesting because there's two elements into it. We do manage the infrastructure on Search Central, but you need to deploy this on-prem sensor within your infrastructure. Moving on, Acme URL. As mentioned previously, this is best for pre-existing Acme clients. If you already have clients such as certbots, you can go ahead and create Acme URL, place it inside your certbot, and now you're able to acquire OV and EV certificates from a reliable CA. The solution by itself is available as a cloud-based because customers already will have their own clients, and that means majority of the infrastructure has been protected by us, and we are maintaining that. Moving on, we have our APIs, as I mentioned. This is best for custom integrations. We have third-party integration that has happened based on our APIs. These third-party integrations are very important. This is where your efficiency matters, and this is where you can have an orchestration of different applications working together. Moving forward, we have Managed Acme Agent. As mentioned again previously, this is an approach to actually manage very complex environments where you want to have the Acme protocol, but also you want to have that management on top of that from Search Central. All based on a user interface. You're able to go ahead and issue a bulk issuance for certificate, bulk installation, renewal, and have that full capability of certificates at your fingertips. This is, again, a cloud and managed Acme solution, which could be cloud and on-prem solution, meaning you require to deploy DigiCert managed Acme client in order to utilize this approach. We also have sensor automation. As I mentioned, this is best for distributed appliances such as load balancers. The beauty of the solution is that you're able to automate load balancers. The integration of load balancers has been something that we have worked on for quite some time. The solution by itself is cloud-based as well as on-prem because you have to deploy the solution. And finally, for this year, we have Automation Manager. This is an approach where customers require to have that on-prem solution. When they want to have all of their workflows for automation to be inside their environment, they want to be able to scale this. They want to have their own SLAs to be able to actually bring the level of SLAs for their own applications and workflows online. And they just want to have a solution that is modernized. More on this topic later. Make it very simple. Throughout our research and feedbacks from our customers, we realized that having automation solutions is important. But what matters the most is choosing the right solution and configuring it properly. That's why we are introducing the help of new release automation solution. We have automated this by Automation Wizard. The Automation Wizard will make it as easy as 1, 2, 3. The solution by itself has capabilities such as, currently available on Search Central, by the way, has capabilities such as error handling. If you are new to automation and you really don't know what use case or what solution is right for use case, you can go through Automation Wizard. It will take you step by step. It will tell you what steps you have done improper. And if everything looks good, you can go ahead and automate your web servers as well as load balancers through this very simplified, user-friendly wizard. Give it a shot if you already have access to Automation Manager, if you have already access to Automation Wizard on Search Central. Now for the big announcement. DigiCert Automation Manager. This is our approach to modernized on-premises, single point of access, and highly scalable solution designed for the most complex environment. We have spent a lot of time and received lots of feedback from customers in regards to a solution that is modernized, but as well as scalable. And also it is on-premises. And all of this together provides a single point of access for all of your certificate management. DigiCert Automation Manager is an approach towards having all of the solutions to be inside your environment. This has been built by and for modernized technologies. We are utilizing technologies such as Docker, deployment models based on Kubernetes to be able to, at this stage, automate the lifecycle management of load balancers such as AWS, F5, Scalar, and A10. In the future releases, we are going to support web servers. This has been an area for us of focus for the past couple of months. Specifically, we chose load balancers based on the feedback that we received from customers. Customers mentioned that having those load balancers and a trend towards utilizing load balancers is very important. Therefore, the first functionality that we included for Automation Manager and on-premise solution is to integrate to load balancers. Let's take a look at a high-level diagram of the solution and see how the deployment will work out. We will start with Search Central Enterprise. If you have access to Search Central, you're able to go ahead and acquire Automation Manager. As I mentioned, the solution by itself has been designed to be deployed behind the firewall. Once you receive the Docker container, you need to go ahead and deploy it utilizing Kubernetes or K8s. Once you do this, the solution by itself will be shipped out with, if you're already familiar with, sensors that we use for integration. The sensor that already exists on this Automation Manager will have access to all the load balancers within the specific subnet that it has been deployed. But if you have different subnets, you can just go ahead and deploy other sensors that will allow you to actually reach out to different subnets in different parts of your networks. Automation Manager utilizes the modern architecture of DC1. We have moved all automation workflows on premises. We have made integrations to load balancers simple. There's no more CLI. You don't need to go ahead within the bash or command line in order for you to integrate to the load balancers. Everything has been on the UI part. All you need to have is the IP address of that load balancers and credentials, and now you're able to automate the certificate lifecycle management for those load balancers. You could have as many automation managers as you want. You can deploy it anywhere as you want, and all of this will be controlled under one Search Central account. Worth mentioning that deploying as many sensors is also available if you really have a specific security posture that requires you to have different sensors, different applications to be specifically bundled for each subnet. You're able to do that here as well. This solution is designed as part of your own platform. The idea here is to deploy it, integrate with it, and you already have set the first step for having a successful certificate lifecycle management, all from within your own infrastructure. The road ahead for Automation Manager is bright. Vision for the future has been developed based on the feedback that we have received from our customers. The vision for the future of Automation Manager is to automate your environment, is to provide more flexibility within your environment. We have divided the vision for the future of Automation Manager into 5 different pillars: notification, managing reports, discovery, automation, and finally, CA integration and import. Let's start from the first pillar, which is notification. Notifications are super important. Customers have to know before something can go wrong. This goes way beyond emails. They need to be able to integrate to their notification systems. They need to have webhooks that allows the customers and SIs to initiate deep custom integrations. They want to be able to actually take actions once a notification comes in. This is why the future of Automation Manager, and specifically the pillar of notification, is very important, and we are continuously working on finding the latest and greatest, but also we are working on integration with other systems such as Splunk. We are looking at ITSM such as ServiceNow and Remedy to be able to provide data, be able to provide what we have found, and then ask them to take some actions or tell us and give us notifications to be able to take some actions. Customers also rely heavily on reports. They want to have an audit trail. They want to know what certificate has been issued. They want to know where those certificates are being used. And overall, they want to be able to have a conclusion from the reporting that is easy to digest. This is very important. Next pillar is extremely important, matter of fact, is relying on discovery. Customers want to rely on discovery to locate all their certs everywhere in their enterprises. This is important because they need to feed this data to the notification engine and then be able to manage those. If you don't know where your certificates are, then it will be very hard to take actions on those certificates, let alone just automating those certs. And if something happens, then again, the notification engine can't actually notify you because there's no visibility into those certs. That's why we have looked at discovery in different pillars. We have seen how you're able to look at clients and desktops. If you're able to actually look at those specific, not only web servers and their file servers and their file directories, but looking into desktops and seeing if they have any keys, any certificates that a specific client is using, reporting back to your notification engine, letting the sysadmin know that here is a new certificate that has been utilized and I don't recognize it, then that sysadmin is able to go ahead and take action on that. Automation by itself, as I mentioned, Automation Manager has been an important part of this journey. This will be released by the time that you are ready to actually deploy it. All you need to have is access to Kubernetes cluster, be able to deploy that. As I mentioned, there's a whole session, there's a breakout session that one of our PMs is going to actually show a demo how you're able to deploy Automation Manager and integrate it. But let's take a different approach to this and this specific pillar. If you're looking at the automation pillar, you can see that we included web servers and load balancers, where web servers are going to be added to the Automation Manager in later releases. Load balancers are initially there, but we're also looking at vaults. We have heard from many customers that they want to do an integration and automation that supports vaults. They want to actually have some of their keys within the vault, some of their certificates be inside those vaults, and then they can go ahead and pick it up and utilize it. Another part of this pillar by itself is support for CI/CD, continuous integration and continuous delivery. Feedback that I have received from many enterprise customers is that the modernized infrastructure is going to be based on Kubernetes. They want to be able to receive a certificate once their Docker container is going to be built, and the certificate needs to be part of that. This is an area for us that we have researched for many months now. We are working on development and enhancements to already available solutions that are able to cover Kubernetes, but we are also going to expand the usability of those features for CI/CD. Finally, we have CA integrations and import. We have seen many customers that are running their own CA for self-signed certificates. For specific use cases, they would rather have the self-signed certificates, but what they have been asking is to be able to actually bring all of the certificates under one control panel and be able to manage those. We are able to incrementally deliver on this vision and provide world-leading automations for SSL TLS certificates. Overall, these pillars by themselves, as I mentioned at the beginning of this slide, are going to make your environments automated, and they're going to bring a higher level of assurance to your environment, not only supporting installation of certificates, but taking actions if a specific problem happens. In conclusion, 2021 is the year of automation for us, and it should be for you as well. We are working on some great functionalities to enhance our support for automation. constantly increasing the usability with having security by design in mind. It's very important for us to create a new functionality where security has always been in mind and always will be when that solution or product will be released. As said before, every certificate will come with automation. Now to Jason Sabin for planning the future at DigiCert. Thank you.